Okay. Roaches Ramen at gmail.com. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another week of the Roaches and Ramen Show. I am your host at Danimal the Great. You can find me in IG. And yes, I did start the TikTok. I started it today. No one can give me shit anymore. And I wasn't a man of my word. But I'm going to turn it around because I'm not perfect, right? Today we have a great show. Today we have a member of our community here in the 505 in Albuquerque. And we have a champ in our midst. We have a champ in the studio, and I would like to introduce Amanda Lovato. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. What a fight on Saturday. You fought for DPS, right? Is it DPS?
DSP.
DSP.
Donald Sanchez's promotion.
Yeah, you fought for DSP, and what a great. You know what? I know they're getting it out there, but I know I used to be a promoter back in the day. So not a promoter for fighting per se. I was music industry guy. I was putting on metal shows. As promoter to promoter, that was a great show.
And that was their first show. It
Really?
was really cool to headline their
debut?
first. Yep,
No
it was
way.
their show debut. I got to headline it with Liana, and honestly, it was a really good turnout. Like Donald's actually an old school king of the cage fighter. He's fought for bare knuckle. I think he said that he has over like 100 fights.
Uh-huh.
And so when I first started fighting, he was like headlining the king of the cage here, but he has like so much experience, I think, from fighting. So I was really curious how the show was going to turn out. And it honestly was so organized. It was fantastic to fight for them. It was like super smooth. Everything was super smooth.
Everything was good. The stream, they had a live stream. They had a whole setup. The ring was really nice. It was well lit up. The production was good. The ring announcement was good. The post interview was good. Everything was just. It was standard, and I liked it. So
no, I feel like it was honestly really like it was classy. Like they really took care of like everybody from the ring girls to the fighters to the coaches, and I just feel like it was really well organized, well planned, and they started everything right on time. Where at most shows they don't start on time.
Yeah, this is true. That's what for the world of promoters. That's time is everything. It'll creep up, even just a slight like, oh, the mic's not on. That's 5 minutes of any type of work. It's the lineup is just getting past you, and you're having to sometimes ask other bands like, hey, I'm gonna have to cut your set shorter, and that's the last thing I wanted to do as a promoter. I think that's kind of like the most shittiest thing to do to a promoter as for at least for where I come from the music scene, is asking any talent. And I'll say any talent because at that moment it was bands, but any talent to cut their set any lower than that. That's a slap in the face. Because you booking them bringing their people, you're giving them the platform to validate their hard work, right? And you want that to go smooth. And bands, just like you at a fight camp, bands work through that perfect 14, 15, even 25-minute set. You know, where if something gets cut, it's going to affect the set. So for sure, shout out to DSP Productions, right? Mm-hmm. They did great. And I'm glad to have everybody. I am glad to have a fighter in my midst. As if you guys will know, as this show progresses and evolutionizes, I'm into combat sports. My kids are in martial arts. I'm in martial art. So to get the opportunity to talk to a fighter, not just a fighter, guys, come on. Who ruled the world? Girls, right? Isn't that what Beyonce said to all those? She said, "Who ruled the world? Girls, right?" And to have a woman fighter in Albuquerque, coming out of Albuquerque, which Albuquerque is known for one of the meccas of fighting, right? Mm-hmm. But for you to come out of this town, what does it mean to be representing your town and being a fighter now?
Honestly, I feel like it means a lot, and just like, I don't know even how to describe it. Just like through everything, all the adversity that I've had to face, because I didn't just come out and like I was good at fighting. I didn't play any sports in high school. I think I played softball for a few years, but it was because I could run fast for the pitchers. They're like, you know what? She can run the bases good. We'll put her in and she could run for the pitcher because I was fast. Right. And I just remember my grandma's actually the one that got me into mixed martial arts.
Really?
Yeah.
Your grandma?
My grandma's
Abuelita, what's
she's
up?
a black belt in Kaiju Kembo.
Holy manoli. So it runs in your family.
Yeah, we are spicy little ladies. I'd like
That's
to
what I'm
think.
saying. Okay. So just to get it, not only ladies, but are you guys like a couple generations deep here in New Mexico and Albuquerque, or are you guys from another state? Come over here. What's your origins? Now that you're talking about grandma.
So I want to say my Lovatos and my grandma's side of the family, the Aragons and like the Silvas and this. She just posted a picture today. The Spitz. We have like German in our blood, so
Dang,
I'm a really
okay.
good mix of like Portuguese, Mexican, like 100% Hispanic.
Okay.
But I was actually born out in Loma Linda, California.
Loma Linda.
And so
dang.
my
So
dad-
you're from the Inland Empire.
Mm-hmm.
What's up? I'm originally from Fullerton, so Fullerton, right there in Orange County. So we're both from Southern California. So that's nice, right?
Yeah.
Because Loma Linda's out there.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are still Southern California. Yeah, hell
Yep.
yeah. Okay, so you're originally from Loma Linda.
Loma Linda, after my parents split up, we grew up north in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Nice.
Or not Las Vegas, Nevada, excuse me. Las Vegas, New Mexico,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
original
The
Las
original,
Vegas.
yeah.
And my grandma's actually an attorney over there, and she's had her practice, I want to say, for as long as I've been alive.
Dang. She's still with us?
Yeah, she's still with us.
Abuelita, grandma, what's
She was
up?
actually in the crowd on Saturday night.
Okay.
She's always shows up to my fights, and she's probably the one that encourages me like the most out of everybody.
Shout out to Abuela.
Yeah.
You know, heck yeah. Okay. So what was her story when she was telling you, like, how did she get into martial arts?
She has just always been like an active lady. Like my grandma has always just been like the cool grandma in my eyes.
Okay.
So like I just remember being little and I like at one point wanted to try and be a lawyer like her. I was like, I want to wear like fancy lawyer suits like just like you, grandma. I want to
Right.
do like what you're doing, but she's always like gone to play golf on the weekends, and like there was a period of time when I started training and stuff that I lived with her, and I was almost like her travel buddy after my grandpa
Right.
passed away. So she would take me to Hawaii with her. She took me to like Mexico with her a few times. Like my grandma introduced me to a lifestyle that like we weren't necessarily introduced to as kids. And so my grandma's just always been like the cool grandma.
Why you? I mean, I'm assuming that you have more siblings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So why did she pick you?
Well, I was my parents' problem child.
Ha.
So
There we go.
was like,
I had to peel the onion
I
a little
was
bit.
like, I was sent around to live with like everybody. So I think I lived with my dad for a good period of time. I lived in Riverside, California, I think for like 6th and 7th grade. And then I remember in high school, like towards the end of high school, I lived with my uncle here in Rio Rancho, and she was just like, I just can't handle her anymore. Like, she'd just be out doing
What
hood
were
rat
you
stuff with her
doing?
friends, and I can't do
Amanda, what were you doing back in the day?
I was trying to be a gangster.
You're a chola. You're like, what's sureña? What's son?
Yeah, well,
Yeah?
I thought I was a norteña
You're
because
like,
that's
yeah.
was like my little crew.
Was that how it is up here? Here's like norteños.
Yeah, norteños, sureños, and I think there was like, it's not as crazy anymore as what it used to be like when I was in high school, and I'm pretty thankful for that. But like, I just got mixed up with like a crowd that I probably shouldn't have got mixed up with.
Now, was high school in Las Vegas or here in Albuquerque or the Albuquerque metro area? Because
Yeah, well, Rio Rancho.
Rio Rancho.
So we, there was a bunch of kids.
Are you a Ram? Rio Rancho Rams?
Yeah, I didn't graduate from there though. See, I went
You're
to
still a
3
Ram.
different high schools my senior year. I
So
went.
You're kind of like a nomad. That's why you're a fighter.
I was like,
Yeah.
I am my parents' spicy child. The problem. I was the problem child.
Okay. What sureño activities were you guys doing back in the day, like in high school? I mean, what were
I was usually the getaway driver. If my friends were like super interested in a girl, I would be like, "Hey, you should like come hang out with me and my friends. They think you're."
Oh,
pretty.
you were the rep. Okay, yeah. So you were the one that I would have to talk to. I would have to talk to you before I talked to the one that I liked or I wanted to hit on, and with her friends, which is I call them the
Well,
Hot
I
Cheeto
hung out
Club.
with a bunch of boys.
Oh, so you one of the dudes? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I hung out with a bunch of boys. Like, I always tried to have, like, even now that I'm older, like, there's some women are just really hard. Like, I don't even know how to explain it.
Just say
Women,
it. It's good.
some women are really girls, but then some
Right.
girls aren't really girls. And I never really had girls in high school. I
Right.
was always just one of the boys, and they were just a lot easier to get along with.
So I think that's what it. So I have a daughter, and I think she's gonna be the girly girl. She came out spitting pink. Like
Well,
she's
now
like,
I like pink. Everything's pink
no,
now.
no, and yeah, 100%. But I think she's just too girly. I put her on a martial art, and she's still too girly. I want her to get like rocked to be like, okay, maybe I should take this a little serious. Maybe I should work on my Americana or something. But that's why I was so glad for you to even join us here at home, like in our home studio, because I'm like, I want my kids to see what like an elite athlete looks and how they present themselves. And mind you, they have their coaches, but those are their coaches, right? Obviously, they have to be a certain way, but you're out here in the jungle in the wild, like you're a real athlete, a real fighter. And I was good. I was staring at my boy Danny when you walked in and you guys had juicy. He was like, dang, like I saw her, like she was, I like seeing that glow. So I don't know, dude. For me, martial arts is such a big deal in this family. To have you here is just crazy, and to know that you were one of the boys. And I don't think she's gonna be one of the boys. I think she's gonna be super girly. She wants to be with her girls. So you basically, instead of being you were closing deals for your friends. Like, hey, I think my friend thinks how you should talk to him, and because they heard it from a girl, that was like the green light.
Yeah.
That's what you were doing.
Yeah. Well, and I think everybody like in high school just thought I was cool because all these boys like accepted me as like the girl in their group.
And you're tiny. I'm fine.
Well, that was actually my nickname like back
Tiny?
in the day.
Oh,
It's
you're tiny?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
They used to be like, Tiny.
Yeah, you definitely.
Like I even have people come up to me at my job now, and they'll be like, "You used to go by Tiny, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm not her anymore. I'm not her anymore."
You're like, who's tiny? You should tell them, like, who's tiny? Yeah. All right. So you're one of the boys. How was that dynamic, and why were you the problem child? Like, were you guys getting arrested? Did you do some juvie time?
I didn't do any juvie time. Like I was out partying late at night and probably just getting into like partying and stuff that I shouldn't have been getting into, and then. I just remember the cops brought me home a couple of times, and my mom was like, "You don't want to keep her?"
Your mom's hardcore, dude.
She is.
Hell yeah. Oh, okay, so we know about grandma. She's a badass, complete, bona fide badass. Abuela, you're a badass. If you're listening to this, you're a badass. Okay, how was mom?
Mom, honestly, my mom is probably one of the hardest working people, and she's like one of the toughest ladies I know. That's like one thing about like any boyfriends or husbands that me and my sister have. They're intimidated by my grandma and my mama. But my mom absolutely, she hates that I fight.
Really?
Yeah, she hates it.
Man, well, I mean, you're her baby.
Yeah, and she's just like, well, I just wish you would just focus on school and just wish you would like leave fighting alone and this and that, because I didn't have just like a great career like off the bat. Like I honestly didn't start winning fights until I got divorced.
Which was recent, you were saying.
And about like 5 years ago
That's
now.
pretty
almost
freaking
6.
recent. I mean, to me, I count every 5 years a lifetime. That was a lifetime ago. Mm-hmm. Because now I see your lifetime now. I'm getting to see the remnants of whatever happened behind you that chiseled you to be here, and that's what this show's about. And this is why I invited you to be here. And I couldn't wait to kind of peel your onion because, yeah, you're right. And for everybody that's listening, this is what the show's all about. She's right here because she just won her bout on Saturday on a unanimous decision, right? Mm-hmm. But you won. What's your record, if you don't mind me asking?
So my boxing record right now is 2-4-1. But I know everybody's going to be like, oh, she shouldn't even bring this up. But my record should actually be 4-4-1. Because my last fight in Indiana, I won. I won 100%. The girl came up in between the third and the fourth round, and she was trying to shake hands. And I was like, no, we have one more round. They literally raised my hand at the end of the fight, announced my name, announced the blue corner, And then after they did that, they're like, no, you guys got it wrong. Margarita actually won.
Wait, so that actually happens?
Yeah.
That you straight up got jacked.
Yeah.
You got jacked.
And then I had another fight probably like at least 3 or 4 years ago. And the Colorado Commission, the first round went longer than 2 minutes. And so the girl that I fought is actually... she never thinks she loses, where I can admit where I lost.
Yes.
So she got it changed to a no contest because the first round went longer than what it should have.
So you can contest that through the commission.
I don't know because the Colorado Commission, she already contested with the commission and they changed it from a win to a no contest. I don't think I'm able to.
That
So
is
for
whack.
boxing, I'm 2-4-1. For MMA, I'm 3-9.
MMA. Do you prefer MMA or boxing?
I like them both. I actually really like them both. I would have probably just been doing MMA because I've gotten how do you say that? I've been very blessed that I've trained at all the gyms here in Albuquerque. I've trained at Fit and HB. I've trained at Jackson Zakama. I've trained at Jackson Wink. I'm now with Elevation Boxing. But
Yeah,
I've gotten to take like a little bit from all of them. And how do I say this? It's just like I've gotten to take from all of them, but I was getting ready to just focus on MMA. So I left Fit to go to Jackson Wink again, and they accepted me with open arms. I took a fight within like a month of being back there, and I lost another split decision. I just wasn't able to pull the trigger, and the girl knocked my air out in like the first 30 seconds of the fight. So I had to. I was like, I just have to play this off like she didn't do it, and we just got to make it in between rounds. And then I was getting ready to fight again, April 2025, and the week before my last sparring session, my ACL and my meniscus got torn, and it's just like so crazy because literally. The girl took me down, and I heard my knee pop. I heard it pop, and I was just like, "It's gonna be."
And it's that pop. It's that sound and that feeling that you know it's it. There, you can't. I've only dislocated my knee, so I don't know. I haven't heard the pop. The only time I heard a pop was when I got in a car accident, and it's my lower back. So now I have like a herniated disc. You know, it's something that I'm gonna have to. I stretch every day, so I don't have to feel it, and I had to lose the weight to so not feel it. That because I was heavy set and that had that car accident, we rolled, and you know what did it? The wallet did it. Everybody told me never put your wallet in the behind, right? So it happened. So that's how I got hurt. So you got hurt a week before that. So that pop is definitely distinguishable. You can distinguish that because I heard that pop when it went, and I knew I wasn't going to be the same, even though I still walked out of that car accident, and my air was actually taken out of me. I thought that something was different. I'm like, there's something wrong with my back, but I can't quite get it. A couple of weeks back, and since then it's been like that. So you hurt your knee. You heard the pop. What happened?
I heard that pop, and like I literally just went home and iced it because I had work that night.
Don't tell me you went to work, dude.
I did go to work. I went to Chiba Hut, and I'm like limping around, and then I go into the back to change a keg, and I think I call them kids because all the people I work with, like there's some people my age, and then there's not people my age.
Yeah. So, dude. But God bless them pimpling faces. They know how to make a sandwich. Shout out to Chiba Hut. You guys are the best.
But he heard me struggling moving a keg, I think. And so he went in there and I like shifted with the keg. And I just started like immediately I felt it in my knee. And I just started crying. And he was like, "Oh my God, like, do I help you get up? Like, what do you need me to do?" I go, "I'm just going to put this here. You go up there and you adjust that for me. And then I'm going to go back out there and I'm going to finish serving drinks."
You finished your shift?
Yeah, I finished my shift. I was like, I had to call in the next day, and I finally got an X-ray because I was just letting...
Fighters are different. That's different, bro.
I was just letting my manager know. I was like, I don't think... and the promoter know. I was like, I don't think I'm making it to this fight. I go, I'm pretty sure, like, my knee, something's wrong with it. And then I just remember the girl messaging me, "This is so unprofessional." And I was like,
yeah, what
okay.
are the repercussions of you as a fighter bullying back out of a fight?
You don't get paid. Like,
It's just that?
yeah, you don't get paid.
Does it tarnish your reputation?
I think for some people it does, but I don't have, like, how would you say it? I'm not known for, like, pulling out of fights or anything like that. The girl tried to message me just saying that the promoter wanted, like, a scan and everything, and I just told her, like, it was the girl's second pro fight. Yeah. At this point, I've had over 30 fights between amateur and professional fights.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't ever pull out of fights. I go, for as long as I've been fighting, I never pull out of fights. And then I just let the promoter know, like, the next day after I got the x-ray that they said that it's not good. I have to go back in for an MRI just to see what's really going on.
At that point, how can I say? At that point, is it safe to say that you're kind of giving her the opportunity to fight? Because it's a two-way street, right? But because you got hurt, I mean, obviously you couldn't fight. But for her to come at you a little like, well, we need a scan. Was that kind of weird? I
just was like more like in disbelief that she was coming at me the way she was. It's
yeah,
like
that sounds a little disrespectful. I mean, I'm not a fighter.
I was like, I was fully invested in this camp. Everything was looking good. We had our game plan put together. Like, I was ready to go. Like, I wasn't just gonna pull out for any reason.
Right.
But I think she ended up getting another fight like a month later. I don't know that she got to fight like that following weekend, but I was like, there was no way I was coming. And I ended up missing, like, I want to say a month of work because I only work 2 to 3 days a week being a bartender. And at the time, I was working 3 days a week. And I think I ended up missing, like, a month between just getting an x-ray, an MRI, taking the time off to do the surgery. Mm-hmm. And so, like, yeah, takes a lot out.
Isn't it crazy? Just, like, the journey of a fighter. And when I'm a consumer, I just consume, MMA, and obviously the biggest organization is the UFC. It's the only sport that I can, because of my schedule, that I could kind of follow. So as a consumer, we're just kind of like, cool, let me just put countdown, and whatever happens, I just want to know. I just want to see them fight. But we forget, what fighters have to go through. And you earlier in dinner explaining how even your finances were...
They were all tied into that.
Yeah, it's all tied in. Now, before we get too deep, just want to kind of go back and peel your onion. Your mom definitely doesn't like you fighting. You just kind of told us the remnants of what fighting can, like the good and the bad that could happen. Your grandma, when she introduced you to that life, what made you say, I want to fight? Did she show you gyms? Did she take you to gyms? Did she train with you? And what did she tell you about her getting into it? Why did she get into martial arts?
Honestly, I think she got into it as a way to work out. And then, like I said, she has obtained her black belt in Kaiju Kembo. So she's been doing it for quite some time. But I think I just told you, I moved 3 different times my senior year, went to 3 different high schools. Started at Rio Rancho. I was living with my cousin. We had a big old party, me and my friends, and the cop showed up, and my cousin's like, I don't want her living here with me anymore. Damn. And I was just like, you know what? Just send me to California with my dad. I don't think I want to be here anymore either. So my mom did not even hesitate, packed up all my stuff that weekend, and drove me clear to California. And then I was there for a little bit, but I feel like I started karate out there because I really wanted to do kickboxing or boxing. I have been asking them since I was probably like in 8th grade. I want to do boxing. Well, boxing's not for girls. Fighting's not for girls.
So your mom was big in that.
Uh-huh.
How was the conversation from here to California? Like, was it like... obviously, she was annoyed. She's going to be annoyed at you, but...
There wasn't a lot of talking. I'm pretty sure me and my friends were experimenting with like mushrooms the night before. So I was like... I was like, we were in a full-time recovery, and I woke up and I was in California, and like I said, like there was like the red and blue gangs like when I was growing up in high school, and all my red clothes were gone. So she was like,
You're like, you ain't gonna be a blood.
No, you're not gonna be anything anymore.
Oh, but yeah.
All my red clothes were gone. But my dad and them ended up putting me in karate when I was out there. Me and one of my little brothers did it. And it was like cool. We learned a lot of kicks and stuff. And then I would just like, I started to gain a lot of weight. I went from being like probably 130 pounds to like 150 pounds. And I was doing
But
like
muscle, right?
no, it
No?
wasn't muscle.
You were just like,
I was
"Chips,
thick. I was like
what's
thick.
up?" Hey, did you do the classic like hot Cheetos with Dr. Pepper? Was that or was it a Coke or what was it? I just
I don't. Me and my stepmom hung out a lot, and I honestly feel like I would just because I was like the only girl, I was really spoiled. So like, my grandpa at the time would take us to like to Sizzler every Thursday,
Sizzler.
and then I got the Subway footlongs with my stepmom like
Hell
at
yeah.
least once or twice a week. In-N-Out Burger wasn't like in Hemet yet, so unfortunately it wasn't In-N-Out Burger.
Damn, you were in Hemet. Oh, there's nothing to do. There's just dirt.
They got an In-N-Out Burger now.
I know.
though.
I know they're big now, and they would stand. Yeah, it's been I'm pretty sure this was what 15 years ago.
Yeah, at least
At
maybe
least.
longer.
Maybe longer, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
there was
I
nothing out there back then.
graduated. That was like 08, and I
08,
graduated
okay.
in 09.
Nice.
And so at the beginning of January of 09, we finally moved me with my grandma. And my grandma, I've been bugging. I want to do kickboxing. And my grandma goes, you know what? My coach has a daughter, and she's going to be getting ready for fights. You guys are like almost the same size. Let's go take you and you can train with her.
That's lately I've been mentioning on the podcast I'm getting closer to God, I'm just saying, but there was like a sermon that I just heard that said God works in mysterious ways, right? We all can agree to that, amen. But how this sermon was about like God has been he works in mysterious ways in a way where he started working a long time ago, right? So I think that right there is a good example that the moment that he knew that another little girl was about to start. You've been hounding Grandma, Abuela, I want to kick some ass. And then she was like, yeah, there's an opportunity. What an opportunity. That's amazing. And did you start right away?
I went in within like the first month, and I got my ass kicked. I was like I said, I had become
Humbled.
extremely overweight, 150 pounds. And the girl that I
And
was
you're
training
tiny.
with is
Yeah.
also Amanda.
Oh, Mandy and Mandy.
Yep, but she's been training like since she was an itty bitty, and she kicked my ass. I got humbled really quick. Like I said, I was like this big wannabe chola in high school.
Good for you. You want to bang now? What's up, Dom?
I was like, so I got humbled, and I just kept going back, and then eventually,
How did you feel that first night that you got humbled? That
was
first night that you were you got pretzeled up.
honestly, I went home and cried. I was just like, dang, I was not expecting that, and I was like, you're gonna have to work harder. And so like I was a lot bigger.
17, 18, or 16?
Yeah, 18.
18?
I'm about to turn 18, and so I went home, and my grandma had a treadmill downstairs. I went home and I started running.
Is that when you said, I'm going to turn it around, I'm going to start, or have you always been active?
Honestly, that's kind of when I started being active. Is like
'Cause
around that point.
You're in great shape. You're in great shape. I mean,
I was
you're in
like-
athlete shape. Like the way your stature is, you're just V shape. Yeah.
That's honestly like kind of when it switched for me, and I ended up losing like a lot of weight that first year. And then I think I was with my grandma for like 2 years. My cousin and my sister came to live with us, and then my sister was living with us, and then she was expecting my niece.
Oh.
And so my mom was like, you guys need to move back to Albuquerque, and your sister's not coming without you. And so we moved to Albuquerque. And
How so? Why? I mean, you could have just stayed there with your grandma. You're with your grams, right?
well, me and my sister are best friends, and I think
Oh,
my
that's what it
mom
is.
wanted to help my sister, and she's like, she's not going to leave without you, Amanda. So I came to Albuquerque,
Real quick. So it's your sister. Do you have any brothers?
so I have a lot of siblings. So me and my sister are like full siblings.
Okay.
And then I have a stepbrother and a stepsister.
Okay.
And then I have 3 brothers in California for my dad and my stepmom.
But you and your sister have been together all your lives. You might as well be twins.
That's my ride or die.
Yeah, that
I
might
was
as well
like,
be twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And so you're saying she was expecting, she didn't want to move without you, right? Right. And then what else?
So then we moved up here, and at first I wasn't training, but I was still really bugging them. Like, I really want to fight. Like, I really, really want to fight. I never got to fight in Vegas. I just trained a lot with the coach and his daughter. Mm-hmm. And then I moved up here, and I originally started at Mean One when it was still existed in Rio Rancho, because we live in that area.
Was there any women already here? For some reason, I get the feeling that just within the last 20 years, women became a prominent presence in MMA.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yeah,
So
there was
was there-
actually probably like a lot more women back in the day on the regional scene than there is now.
Oh, wow.
Because I think I didn't know of them, because what's funny is I have people ask me about old school fighters, and I didn't get into fighting because like I watched like UFC or anything. My grandma
You
took
weren't a
me
fan,
to
yeah.
my grandma took me to a live show, I think in Santa Rosa, that some of our teammates from the Kaiju Kembo gym had fought at, and I was like, I would be really good at this, I feel like.
So you did kickboxing first. That was your first discipline?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is there any other disciplines that you went that you chased? Because my boys first started boxing, you know, and he started at 10. And then he's like, okay, cool. So I know how, I can strike now. And he got it real quick. And he's lanky and he's really fast, like Mighty Mouse lanky, And then he did Taekwondo. He's still doing Taekwondo just because he's like, well, I want to learn how to kick. If I know how to strike, I gotta like create some distance. So let me kick. And so he was taking Taekwondo. So we're like, and then Olivia's like, well, I want to do Taekwondo, but Lena was kind of like, whoa, I don't want to really have you guys. I don't want you to distract your brother. So let me put you. We decided to put them in jiu-jitsu. So we went with Gracie Baja.
Yeah, that's honestly a great gym.
Love it. And the school that we're in. And look, shout out to Northeast, Albuquerque, Gracie Baja. I love you guys. You guys are my fam. Anyways, great organization, right? The moment he went there, he's like, I need to do that. So there we go. Sign him up, right? So he's chasing other, and I'm not asking him to do it because I'm such a fan. I'm not a casual. Just to put it out, I'm a fan, but I'm not a casual. And then, or I'm not a casual fan. I'm a fan. But as a fan, obviously, as a man, I'm like, I would love to see my boy be a lethal weapon and be like a fighter. Obviously, he's not going to do that, but because he loves computers, I encourage him. I'm like, if you're going to be sitting down and you want me to encourage computers, you need to be active. So this is a requirement. Like martial arts are a requirement for them because for their safety, just so they don't get fucked.
No, 100%. And I feel like combat sports just help you build the confidence. Like, I don't ever feel like as confident as what I am in myself now. I was not like this 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Like, it builds you up over time. And I'm just really thankful for like the discipline that it's brought me. Like, I even said this in an interview that I did after my fight the other day, that like the discipline that I've gotten from fighting is honestly what's building me success through school.
Throughout school, did you always want to be a nurse?
I think when I was younger I did, but then like when I had met my son's dad, I had just like gone pro, and he was like, I was very easily influenced at the time,
right.
And he was like, well, you need to like focus on one thing. Like, you're not going to be able to expect something to flourish if you're like scattered all over the place. And so I gave
right.
up school and I wanted to just fight full time.
And is that still the plan? I think I asked you earlier, is you being an RN a safety net to have some backup, and fighting still the number one rail, or is it?
I honestly am just like leaving that in God's hands.
Amen.
I was like,
Perfect.
that's in God's hands.
Perfect.
I just told God, like, if I'm supposed to find success through fighting, then it's going to be on his timing and not mine. Because I honestly got baptized. I was telling Lena earlier.
Good
at
for
dinner.
you, dude. Hell yeah.
I think I went and my dad's a pastor. I didn't mention that, but we went and saw them at Christmas time, and they just were so happy with so little. And I was just like, man, like, I want that. I just want peace. Yeah. And so I came back and I started taking me and my son to church, and then I got rebaptized, and I just told God, like, I don't want to be my own God anymore. Like, whatever your plan is for me is I want to, like, flourish.
You know why I'm so happy? Because right before I started this podcast, I put it in the foot of the cross, and I'm like, I'm going to come to you, God. I'm done doing me. If this is your will, like, show me. And he did. And that was the revelation. And good thing that we're both at a point where like the dust has settled a little bit, right? And that's what I wanted to kind of I wanted to follow up with this. Roaches and Ramen, it's about overcoming that adversary, right? And you see it as a fighter with your opponents, and you said your journey really hasn't been all rainbows and cupcakes, right?
Mm-mm.
And you said that it's been the last 5 years have been a redefining 5 years of a lifetime. Can you touch on that a little bit?
I definitely can. I went through a divorce for my husband, and like honestly, we had a family and everything, so it was just like a total like, okay, well, we're starting over at Plan A. I went back to the gym that both of us were at, Finna HB. I took a fight probably within like the first month that I was back there after being divorced. I fought a girl that just got signed to the UFC, Gigi Canuto. I fought her. That was my first fight after my divorce. And honestly, like, I don't regret any of it anymore. I went 0-7 before I ever won a professional fight.
That's what I wanted to touch on. You said, I didn't start winning until you started, after the divorce. And we talk about struggles here. Struggles can be many ways. I tell everybody here. It could be financial. It could be your upbringing. It can be mental, like a mental crisis. It could be anything. Struggles everything. And I know everybody has struggles. And yeah. And I know we're not the only ones. But the people that are going through the struggle still, the whole point of this podcast is for them to, if someone's maybe in the same trajectory as you, that's either a fighter or wants to be a fighter, or just is a girl that like was with somebody and then it didn't work out in the relationship, that can be that is a struggle itself, because then you start feeling self-conscious, you start questioning your value, right? What was the struggle there, and can you explain the last 5 years?
Honestly, it was just kind of like rebuilding my identity. I really do feel like I lost my identity being in a relationship. Like, my ex-husband's a former UFC fighter. It was really hard to just like, how do I say this? He had a lot of success, and like sometimes he wouldn't show up and fight, and it was so frustrating that like I didn't work after we had our son, and he was like our full financial support. So I would be flustered at times because it's like, you just have to go out there and fight. I've already prepped all your food for you. Like, this weight cut should be easy. I go and I cut weight with you. Like, I got your back to the fullest. All you have to do is go and fight.
And they say that the job really is make the weight. You want to get paid? Mm-hmm. Make the weight.
Well, and it's just like, it was just really frustrating because like I was told forever that my career wasn't as important as his because I didn't make as much money.
Who fucking lied to you? Sorry for the cuss word, but who lied to you?
Well, that's just what I was told. And at the time, like, on paper, he made a lot more money, so it made sense to me. And so it was just really frustrating knowing that I wanted what he had, but he wasn't taking advantage of the opportunities. Like, granted that we're in like a way better place now and we like communicate and we are chill, and like he made sure that, how do I say this? Like, I didn't wrestle a day in high school. I have people, as soon as I get on the mat and you start wrestling me, they're like, where did you wrestle in high school? How did you learn to wrestle like that? So I am very thankful that he like implemented that into my game, because I felt like it made a huge difference in my MMA game.
Was that his practicing a discipline? Is he a wrestler?
He's known for his wrestling.
Okay, yeah.
That's the crazy part. His jiu-jitsu and his wrestling are like off the wall. But the jiu-jitsu he never really worked with me in, but wrestling he did. And like I've had people like, I would show up to wrestling practice at Jackson Wink for a while, like the last year that I was there, and I would be stuck wrestling with a bunch of boys because the girls didn't want to wrestle with me anymore.
What was the mindset? What happened right when you guys kind of give, if we may, without any details, what was the precursor to now what became a divorce, and what did it do to your psyche moving on as a fighter? And mind you, I think you're a fighter's fighter, because like you said, people are like, man, where did you wrestle? What high school? And you're like, I mean, I started like a year ago. I don't know, But to you, you're a fighter's fighter because you're like, you're going against the odds with people that have done it since they were little, And sometimes those people tend to kind of walk with their chest a little higher, like, their stature a little more poised. But you're a fighter's fighter. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're not. I was like, if you ask my dad, he'll tell you, you've been fighting since you were born. He thought I was a premature baby. And yeah, it was like a scary situation. But for my parents, not me. Obviously, I don't even remember any of that.
Right.
But I honestly feel like at the point of my divorce, I just wanted to prove to myself that, like, I am a fighter, that I am doing this, that I wasn't just piggybacking off of him because he had a name to him, like, that I meant to do this. And so I started winning some fights.
Did you feel like you were living under his shadow?
I didn't realize it until I got away from him.
Good for you.
I was like, I didn't realize it until I got away from him because it was just like everything was like about him and his career and his focus. And then so when it finally got to be about me, I think like we got divorced at the beginning of 2021 and I got my first dub at the end of 2021, and it was just like a dominating performance, and it was just like the coolest thing in the world.
Do you think he was suppressing you? Was there like a lot of verbal, like, I don't know, lack of a better word, abuse when it came to like when you guys were married? Obviously, when people get married, they're happy. You know, there's going to be good moments.
I don't think it was ever intentional. Like, I just don't know that. Like, I know he still is kind of like, in a way, a little supportive now, but I just don't know if he wanted me at the level that he was at, if that makes sense. Like,
wouldn't that? I don't know. That's the thing, man. I guess it's what.
Like I said, we're really good now, but it's just like
Right.
at that point, it was just like.
Was he threatened? That's what I kind of wanted. Was he threatened by the fact that maybe you? To me, I look at you and what you're telling me, I'm like, she's gonna be a champ. She's gonna be a champ somewhere, some organization, or she's gonna end up in. Next thing I know, she's gonna be in the contender in Dana White's contender series. You know, the women's division needs more talent. You are that talent. The reason why, and just real quick, because when I saw you in your last bout, I felt, my opinion was, she's landing and she's closing the distance with her jab because of her footwork. You were moving like you were in the cage, not like you were in the ring. You're doing that side step like you were, and so I think you're going to be a champion one day. Did he feel he was in the trajectory of having the opportunities to be a champ? Did he not want to be a champ?
He, I think, was okay for him, but I don't know if he ever wanted it for me. And, like, that's just, like, something maybe I'll never really know the truth behind.
Right.
But I just know, like, while we were married, it was just, like, I would want to take fights because, like, if there was points, like, we were struggling, I would be like, well, I'm local. Like, I'm from here. I could get sponsors and, like, it would help us out and a win would be, like, great. But then there would be moments like where I would be out at a fight, and I think the last fight I took before we split, he had called me before, and he would just like, I'm really sorry, but like I need to sell your bike. And granted, I loved that was a Juliana Maverick.
Dang.
Dopest bike, mountain bike a girl can have. I freaking loved it.
Right.
And I would just.
Why did he sell it?
Just because I know we needed the financial means at the time.
So you were sacrificing even your biggest wants. And
then he was just like, well, we could really use the money. And as soon as he called me and told me that, granted, this is like 30 minutes before we're getting ready to go to the venue. I'm like, he doesn't think I'm going to win this fight.
Fuck.
And that's like a big deal because he had been in my corner forever. And then I finally was like, maybe it's just like a mental block because he's ahead of me, that I don't want him in my corner anymore. So I had a coach and a teammate go out and corner me for this last fight. And what sucked is I was winning the fight. I had the girl in an armbar. And it's just like, I call it a glitch. Like my brain just spazzed out and I went from having her in an armbar to just like punching her for no reason when I could have probably finished the armbar. So I ended up losing the fight. But we were divorced like shortly after. And honestly, it was like...
Sorry to interrupt, was he only seeing you L? Is that what happened? Because you were saying right before you were having a lot of L's before your divorce. I think those L's were coming because he was suppressing your confidence. He was cutting the throat of
It was
your confidence.
definitely like a mental thing, to be honest. And it's something that I've had to like work through, even just like how I told you my mom's not supportive. Like, it's just like the two people that you want cheering you on weren't cheering me on through it.
They say that your circle of influence are the ones that won't root for you, but yet the masses will.
Yes.
That's so wild to know that that's a fact. Wouldn't you want your blood to be like, yeah, Hita, get it.
And that's where grandma comes in. Because grandma, I was like,
what
'cause grandma's
up?
always just
Abuela.
like, you can do it, you can do it. She was so happy with the win over the
Right.
weekend. And I'm just so thankful for my grandma. Because I think if I didn't have like her spunkiness in me, I probably would have quit a long time ago. Anybody would have quit after going 0-7. Anybody would have quit, I think, after coming back from a major surgery and like losing.
How did you overcome? I don't know. Better question. No, good. No, I'll continue. How did you overcome that negativity? And because a lot of the fighting is just a skill, but what makes fighting is, and when you're playing, this is what separates checkers versus chess as a fighter is the fact that the fighting is a skill, but the psyche is where fighting is the real. That's where the real war is at, right? That's why, like for example, big example. I've been wanting to. I wanted to bring that up. I knew you were going to win last Saturday when I saw your weigh-ins. I knew it because the opponent looked at her and she's like, I'm going to be a spicy Latinas right here because there's all these cameras clicking. I can hear all the shutters. And then you get on her face and you're all business. You're like, it's like as if you blanked out. You weren't the Mandy that I'm talking to right now. You're the Amanda that was locked in. And you went into there, you're looking straight into her eyes, crazy like face off. And then you're like, okay, I got you. I gauged you, I got you. And then you looked at the camera, and then you see that little bit. I knew you had already won the battle because you see her kind of looking forward towards the crowd, and you see the glimpse of insecurity. Sorry, I know that her name was Juliana, right? Liana. Sorry, Liana. I saw it, but it was my observation. You're still a great fighter. I saw it. And you were like, okay. And I'm like, she's the real deal. I told Ernie, I'm like, she is the real deal. She's like, I know. And she serves us our drinks.
Well, I don't know if you ever heard my boss Daniel tell me, like, we don't have security on Thursday nights. He goes, Amanda is security.
That's what he told me. He's like, well, yeah, she's like our bartender / security guard because she can beat the fuck out of you.
Well,
and
like I really have people's best interest and safety at heart when I'm behind the bar. Like I'll take the mic from the karaoke guy and I'll yell at people from the karaoke mic and be like, keep your drinks on the inside. I'm not here to babysit you. I've literally told big ass dudes to leave my bar. Like, I'm not playing with you. You need to leave. And I just I don't know. I think I've always had that about me. Like,
so you have a character. You have a character trait where you don't like unjust things happening around you. Good for you.
Well,
you're a real hero.
No, I've been like this forever, and I hate it. Like, I'm not. It sucks to be this person, but I'm not scared to fight a boy.
So let me tell you. So was that easy to navigate the whole divorce? You were like, you know what? Screw you. You're not. If no one can knock me out and take me down, I'm not gonna let you take me out.
I feel like there was like a part of me that was like really insecure and just like rebuilding myself and like refinding myself and who I was.
What was the insecurity, if you don't mind me asking? Because you're like you stands real confidence. You know.
I just felt like I don't know. I feel like my husband had left me, and it was just like something was wrong with me. Is why he left. When necessary, like now I know it had nothing to do with me. It was like we just weren't meant to be together, and he had other stuff going on within himself that had nothing to do with me. And I felt like it took me a while to just like rebuild my confidence in myself and be secure in who I was, because I had changed a lot of myself to make I feel like him happy. And, like, I learned, he taught me a lot of cool stuff. I could mountain bike. I could shoot a bow really good. Like, I know I could wrestle. Like, there's all these stuff that I could take away from the relationship that was good. But who I became in that relationship, it wasn't me.
So, pretty much 5 years ago, you were fighting your confidence. Pretty much that was your battle. That was your war. And then the dissolution of that marriage was pretty much the signal of like, let's rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what's your purpose?
My purpose?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm here to be a vessel for God at this
That's
point.
awesome.
I was like, that's my purpose. And it's just like maybe to just encourage people to go after what they want. Like, adversity is your best friend if you would let it be.
roachesramen@gmail.com. You hear that, everyone? She's gonna be a champ, and that's raw. I love that. I love the way you said that, because that's what I encourage here. That's why I wanted to bring you here. I'm like, dude, you are a fighter's fighter. Even though you went through a struggle, even through a divorce, any divorce, I'm actually going to have a future episode with someone that's going through a really ugly divorce right now. And he's because he's still going through litigation, and everything's going to be obviously anonymous, which I encourage. But these things can get really messy and really big, right? And to see you're not only a fighter's fighter, but you're a super mom. You're a super mom. Like the way when I saw your boy, when I saw your boy this last Saturday, happy, and to see him next to you, to me it's kind of like I was telling you, how does a 8-year-old see their mom that just won a boxing bout? That's your mom. That's not a conventional mom. Moms to us make the best peanut butter and jellies. They make our lunch. They do our laundry. They don't knock out people. So to me, I'm like, how does an 8-year-old, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does he see that? And to me, I think that is your purpose, and that makes you super mom. How do you navigate fighting and being a mom?
Honestly, Anthony's probably like the inspiration behind all of it. Like, he walked into the ring. One of my best friends from Chiba Hut was there hanging out with him, and I was like waving him, bring him in, bring him in, bring him in.
You gave me a knot.
And
you gave me a knot. That gave me a knot in my throat.
I was like,
because I'm there with my boys. I'm like, oh.
So he brought him in, and Anthony had his headphones on so he could cancel out the noise.
Yeah.
And so he took them off, and he goes, "Mom, I'm so proud of you."
Oh.
And I would just like, "Thank you so much, baby." Because Anthony has a very unique story in his own. And it's just like, I think after everything that I went through with Anthony when he was born, and just to like where we are now is just night and day. And I just feel like I told you,
Is it okay to ask kind of his challenge?
Oh yeah, so Anthony was born premature at 32 or 34 weeks. Right. And then I was going to Loveless at the NICU like every day to go see him, and like 3 weeks in we get a call that he has hydrocephalus, and I have no idea what it is. I was like, "What are you talking about?" They go, "Well, all of us have a spinal canal. The spinal fluid runs through." Right. And Anthony has a blockage. His head was like huge, but it was just from all the spinal fluid buildup. They go, "We have to fly you guys out to Colorado immediately," because there wasn't a pediatric neurosurgeon here in New Mexico at the time. So we got flown out to Colorado. I'm like freaking out. That's my first baby. That's my kid.
Yeah, that's your baby.
And we get out there, and the neurosurgeon looks at him. He goes, "Oh, he's not even as bad as like other cases that we see. Like, he's fine."
Lord.
And so he had surgery, I think, within 3 days. It was scary being out there because Anthony, he didn't take to the shunt right away. He had 3 different surgeries while we were out there in Colorado. And like the week, let's see, I want to say it was a 5 to 10 weeks that we were stuck in Colorado.
How do you navigate that? That's your child.
It was really tough. And like, I'm honestly like, I'm so thankful for my mom, and just like my brother-in-law was holding down the fort for us at the time here and taking care of all of our dogs. But my mom like made it a point to go out like every other weekend or every weekend, just so like we would get out of the hospital and be together. And that wasn't even like the minimum of it. We ended up coming back to New Mexico like he was born at the end of March. Mm-hmm. We got home like towards the end of May. And then I think in August, when he really started like getting a lot of teeth and stuff, it's just like everything started happening all over again. Aye. So he had 4 surgeries between August and November. And I think the last hospital stay, we were in there for like 3 weeks. And the neurosurgeon and like some of the nurses that we had, they were just like, he's fine. There's nothing wrong with him. I was like, my son hasn't opened his eyes in like 4 days.
What do you mean?
There is something wrong with him.
Yeah.
And then one of the nurses, like, I woke up during like when they do their shift change and stuff. From a nurse's standpoint, there is nothing neurologically wrong with their son.
Nurses, are you a neurologist?
like-
I don't know.
And
You know?
so luckily somebody had come
Jesus.
in and said that he needed to be put into surgery immediately. And so we had surgery like that next day, and I gave that nurse like the dirtiest look ever.
Yeah.
And they finally switched us nurses, and she was like from the South Valley. And she's like, they usually give me to the harder families. And I was like, well, you're down to earth, so I'm okay if I'm a harder family to deal with.
Yo, that nurse has no idea that she's talking and giving a little smack lip to a fighter. That's what's happening. Oh my gosh. Wow.
So-
you are a fighter's fighter. You see, because so Olivia has sickle cell, right? So she has like an immune deficiency, and obviously it's not comparable to what Anthony's going through or he's gone through. But even with that, even when she gets sick or when she has a crisis, it tears me in. It slices my soul.
You want to be in their spot. You would rather it be you than them.
100%, please. I sometimes I feel like telling Lena just start socking me or whip me so I feel the pain. You know, like just hit me or something, because to hear her and now it's harder now when she's a little older and she can talk, because she's like, oh, but it hurts. You know, and to hear it loud, it's one thing. To know that she was a baby and she was experiencing that, where they can't talk, that is what I can't even wrap my head around. And I turn into the biggest PUSSY. I just do. How do you navigate that, knowing your son's going to surgery after surgery after surgery after surgery?
It was just like, it was honestly a crazy time. Like, I was so anxious because at one point in time, it was really hard to get me fights. And so I had a fight, and then we found out I was pregnant. And so I was like,
so the universe just didn't want you to, I bet your
It's
mom
like-
was like, oh, God, please, I'm so
she's
glad.
like, thank you.
Thank you.
But then I had
Shout out to
started
Mom.
going back to training, and then like all of this has started happening with Anthony again. And I was like,
Right.
man, it just might never happen for me. And it might just never happen for me. Like, Anthony needs me, and if he ends up needing me like full time, that's like where I'm going to be. And luckily he had his last surgery. We're going 8-year surgery free this November.
Amen. Woo.
So it's been really cool to just see him like develop into like his own person and just like where he's at now. And he's just like, he's a really fun kid, and he's not shy at all. I don't know if you guys saw at the end of the fight,
Yeah,
they
he was-
handed him
yeah.
the mic, and he goes, well, you remember that one time? And he starts talking into the mic. He's like a confident kid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dude. I love stories like this. That this is what brings me joy. To hear a good success story, because you are one, just like Daniel. He's a success story, and it's not like it was easy to navigate life here when you were younger. I mean, you were a freaking sureña, you're norteña. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you were out there, just
I was living
messing
a
around.
thug life.
Yeah, I mean, at least you were thugging it, but it taught you. I mean, did the streets teach you anything? What did the streets teach you?
Honestly, I just like, I think it's taught me a lot of discernment. Like, there's people that you can read really well, and you're like, okay, I don't really get that feeling, like that gut feeling like they're trustworthy.
Right.
And then I think even now, like that I'm older, I'm really just like more like, well, you are really nice to my face, but you really don't mean anything like good to me.
Right.
Where like, I don't feel like I'm really like that. I feel like I genuinely like love all people.
So the person that I called older brother, it was a cousin of mine, and he was a full-on cholo. He's from he's from the hood in Fullerton, and obviously he was trapping, right? He was doing the thing, and it was always weird to me when he would be like, and mind you, to me he was like a hero to me. So just to see what a great example of hypocrisy in front of me, I didn't know how to navigate because I was too young, right? Because I was seeing real life in front of me. Goes, does his thing. These fools are tough. They're acting tough, blah, blah, blah. They leave, right? They leave, and he's like, fuck, I'm so glad they fucking. And I'm like, why? What's up? He's like, because dog, like, they ain't to be trusted. I'm like, how is it that you call these guys your homies? They're from your hood, palabra, your familia, right? All this shit. And then they leave, and then you're like, fuck, I'm glad they left. Like, I can't trust them. I could never run I did. This is why I didn't want that life. Did you ever
I feel like that's why I finally gave it up. Like,
good for you.
I hung out with like all the boys, like I told you, like throughout high school, and then like after I was done doing hood rat shit with my friends, I went to doing hood rat shit with my cousins and my family. Yeah. And I ended up being.
It's a lot safer doing hood rat shit with family.
It really is, though. It really is, because you're usually in a safe environment.
Yeah.
But I hung out with like my sister and her group of friends, and like I started hanging out with more girls, and like all the girls that we hung out with were trustworthy. Yeah. But the boys just like weren't always trustworthy.
No, they're like, hey, that homegirl? That's your girl? Thanks, dog. When you hear that, you're like, dude, he's gonna go after her. Like that's what that meant. That's when like, oh yeah. Would you ever talk to lingo like nine or nine?
I used to say like, "What's up, babe? What's up?"
What's
like,
up, babe?
I don't think I could do it anymore, because even like being up north from Vegas, you have a slang from Vegas. And I used to be like, I know, huh?"
So if you haven't, please do so. We had a guest on the pod. We call him Josh the Knight, and he is from Las Vegas. And I was telling him there's a Vegas and Albuquerque have totally different dialects, or at least they sound like dialects. Obviously, we're talking the same language, but here is like, nah, fool. Over there's like, hey, brother, hey, what's up, hey? It's really like,
Well,
really
even
relaxed.
just like going from here to like visiting my family in California, like when we would go visit my dad growing up, they would just be like, you have like an accent. And I was like, what do you mean? I haven't. I'm from America. I'm from New Mexico. And then I just remember going to like, it had to have been like a Texas Roadhouse or something, but I read Cahoon instead of Cajun. And I was like, I want the Cahoon pasta. Yeah. And they go, I'm sorry, she's from New Mexico.
Oh my gosh. roachesramen@gmail.com. You hear that at 505? Dude, we are your podcast. This is your show. It goes to show that New Mexicans do stick out in the country. This is why I can say, me as a touring musician, or when I was a part of the music industry and I was traveling a lot, there's no place like this place. And I keep on telling that to everybody. Every person that I know that's from here and have their roots deep in here, even though you were kind of a nomad, but even though you're from here or from Las Vegas, you kind of do stick out, because you're not our type of Hispanic. You're a different type of Hispanic. Even though we're Hispanics, you're still Latina, or we're Mexican or a Mexican descent, right?
Yes.
But you're not, I can't just. It'd be weird if you were out there in Fullerton and I'd be like talking to you in Spanish and you're like, I don't know what you just said.
Like that's.
But you're just Mexican. You just say you're Mexican or Hispanic, right? Yeah, but I don't know, bro. Yeah, and you would stick out. When I met people from New Mexico, anywhere in the wild out there, it was always that culture clash. And then that's when I'm like, wait, so you are from the United States, right? Fool, here's my license. I told you, they do that. And you're gonna ask me if I have the peso next, It happens. Lena's been through that, where she had an occasion that she's, now that she's in New Mexico, she had the first New Mexican kind of like, stereotype, where she went, she's like, oh, I'm from New Mexico. And they're like, yeah, well, we're going to need to see your passport.
I'm from New Mexico.
And she's giving them the license. And I'm like, yeah, New Mexico. So the stereotype's true. Green or red, you need to come over here and find out, and you better make a decision. Yeah, Christmas. Yeah, say Christmas. Just like that's the same rule as that applies to don't honk here. And believe us when we tell you that, don't honk here. roachesramen@gmail.com, and we have the champ. So now that we know a little bit of your journey to being a fighter, what's next?
Honestly, right now, I think, like I told you guys, I got into the nursing program. I was ready to just be done with school this year. And
Hey, she's gonna change your catheter, bruh.
I was just like, let me just try this HESI test one more time. If I pass the HESI, then I'll finish my prerequisites this summer and I'll apply to the program.
She's gonna get
And
it.
so
y'all.
I passed the HESI. Okay, I
Hell
have to
yeah.
pass these 2 classes this summer. I passed my 2 classes this summer. I applied to the nursing program and got in. So I'll start the nursing
for you.
program at CNM
Congratulations.
in the fall. And that's going to take me a year. And the plan is for me to be able to train like part-time throughout it. And then hopefully come back like a year and a half. But I don't know what I want to do. If I want to do boxing right away or if I want to try and do an MMA fight.
You know you want the octagon, dude. The way you were moving in that ring, you belong in the octagon. I want to see you wrestle. I want to see you do jiu-jitsu. I want to see you do some Muay Thai. Do you know Muay Thai gyms out here?
There's actually Kingdom Muay Thai and Genuine Muay Thai.
I want her to do Muay Thai. She's like, I won't do that gay jiu-jitsu shit you guys do. I'm kidding. No, she's just kidding, everybody. We love jiu-jitsu.
No, there's a couple of options for Muay Thai gyms. There's Kingdom Muay Thai. They're actually getting ready to open a new facility. Mark is the owner. He's one of my longtime sponsors.
Right.
Pretty cool guy.
Shout out to Mark.
They're opening one, I want to say on the west side, and then they have their one located off Pan American Freeway. And then there's a new gym, Genuine Muay Thai. I believe they're a branch from United Fit. They're actually here on the east side.
Yeah, don't send me to the west side. This is why Danny stopped boxing. It's not because we didn't want him to continue. It's just the fact that we have to go to the west side, and he's after school. He can barely put a meal in him, and then we have to get in the car. She had to get in the car, and then just to get over the river. Hell no, dog.
Oh, no, I feel that. I was like, I've had to drive to this side of town for school this whole semester, and I feel that.
Oh my gosh, it's
Imagine
growing.
if we were in California.
Never, you would never. This is when I tell her, I'm like, I'm so glad we came out here because any of this that we're doing would never happen over there. It just we would be stuck in traffic instead of me having this great conversation with you.
Yeah.
That's what we'll be doing, So, dude, thank you so much. Can you come back? Would you come back?
100%. This
Oh
was
my
fun.
gosh.
I've never done a podcast or
No?
I haven't even done an interview
here
in
in the-
forever. So
you
this
heard
was
it, everybody.
perfect.
This is exclusive. We got Amanda Lovato, the champ here. She's a champ. She won, and she's gonna continue to win. And if you go to Chiba Hut, please don't God 505. Don't
make me kick
find
you
out.
out.
Don't make me find out that you're not tipping out there. Okay, tip this bartender. Come over. You work on at Chiba Hut what nights?
Thursday night and Friday night.
Hey, and I would like to give a shout out to DJ Ernie G. Because of him, I know Miss and Daniel El Hamburguesero. If you heard that episode, he was the one that's like, I'm going to talk to her. She will be here. You
I
have
need
to
to
talk
go
to
tell
her.
him thank you. That's lean like a cholo. I always tell him because of
Like
his
a remember, she's not tiny. She'll smack you straight in the face, and I will laugh at you. Everyone, roachesramen@gmail.com. I did start the TikTok, so it is roaches_ramen TikTok. Same thing for Instagram. It's Roaches Ramen Pod on YouTube. So where can people find you?
I'm Mandy_LVT, and I believe that's my TikTok. I'm not really big on TikTok yet, so
I know, I
give
just
me a
started
break.
it today.
I was like, but
being a
Instagram, you'll
big-ass
find me
puss.
under Mandy_LVT.
Hell yeah, you heard it. And any honorable shout-outs? Any shout-outs?
Just a shout out to my son, my family, being supportive through all my crazy decisions. My team, Elevation Boxing, and just all the gyms that have let me train and learn from them. Like, I'm truly blessed.
I'm blessed too. Thank you for coming by. Seriously, you're giving us an opportunity.
No, thank you for having me. And thank you for dinner.
Oh, thank her. That was Lena. You see,
was
everybody? You're
good.
hearing it. It's on record. I'm telling you guys, my wife don't fuck around. Okay? So if you guys are ever in Albuquerque and you just give a little shout out, maybe we'll do like a little sweepstakes, and then maybe we can go and cook for you guys. I don't know. We'll see. Guys, I love you. I love you. Thank you for joining us for another a great. This one was a great one. This is probably our biggest one.
Thank
thus
you.
far. So thank you. And everybody, again, I keep on telling everybody here that that we encourage the good, we encourage the prosperous, we encourage the upgrades. And if you're feeling it, and if you know someone that's feeling it, and you feel that there's a boxer out there or a combat sport practitioner that is kind of questioning, tell them to listen to this podcast. Either if you're a girl or a boy, and if you want to be a fighter, don't stop. Get it done. Do it. If you're questioning it, do it. If you just want to work out like grandma, do it. If you want discipline, do it, because that martial arts does that to you guys. So that's my little rant on martial arts. I love it. It's a part of my life. It makes you want to be a better person. And with that, I can say thank you guys to you. Thank you to everybody that came back. Thank you to whoever just joined us today. You can follow us. And if you have a story yourself, roachesramen@gmail.com. Guys, live your lives generously, and always, like I said, love yourselves before you love others. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, 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 bye.